and welcome to Overreacted. Today we are going to build a React Native quiz application, a very basic and very beginner friendly application. So before starting, I'll discuss what is React Native. React Native is an open source framework developed by Facebook to create application both for Android and for iOS. It is based on JavaScript. So the best thing is you just have to write the code once and you can create app for both the platforms. Pretty cool, right? So now that we know React Native, let's get started. So this is the documentation of React Native. You should read it if you're going to use React Native in your projects or in your work as well. This is fairly detailed, so you can get all your questions solved. Everything you can get here. If not, there are other blogs on Medium and on YouTube as well. So I am assuming that you have the environment set up for React Native. You can go here and you can read the documentation for both for this Mac OS and for Windows or Linux, that any operating system that you're using. So basically there are two things. There is Expo CLI and there is React Native. We are going to use bare React Native. Expo is a helper tool, you can say, which helps you create fast and pretty quick React Native applications, but there are drawbacks. So we're not going to use Expo, we are going to use React Native. So these are all the documentation that you have to complete to set up your environment. Now let's say you have your environment set up. If not, I'll be creating another video on how to set up environment for React Native. So you have to copy this command and you have to open your terminal. Now in your terminal, just go to your source folder where you have to create your, I'll just increase the size so that you can see. So npx React Native init, so it will initialize React Native. Let's call our application Quizlet. It doesn't matter what you call it. But there are few things about naming. There are few naming conventions that you have to follow. We just can't put anything in the name. This is going to take some time. Meanwhile, let's create a design for our application, right? Let us see how our application is going to look. So suppose this is a screen. The first screen, what we'll do, we'll write the name of the application here since it's very beginner app. And secondly, we are going to put an illustration here, an image, let us say, which will make our app look little good. And there will be a button, let us say start button. From here we will go to our quiz application. The quiz screen will look something like this. Sorry for this crap drawing, but I'm not very good at drawing. So here our question will be displayed and here 4 options will be displayed. There will be a next skip button, skip, and there will be a next button, right? And after this, after every response, there is going to be a modal, the modal which will tell that whether your answer was right or wrong. And in the end, when we have answered all the question, there will be a result screen. We'll see how we're going to, let us say this is your message and there is take me to home button. So for this we are going to use OpenTDB, Open Trivia Database. So it's an API which gives us unlimited number of questions as you like. So we are going to use this API for our application. Let us see if this has been set up or not. It is still downloading the template, so it usually takes this much of time. I'm going to pause this video here and I'll welcome you back once this is done. So our app has been created. You can see the Quizlet folder here on my screen. So let's open this up in VS Code. I use VS Code editor. You can use any editor that you like. It's up to you. But a lot of developers use VS Code because of its speed and the extensions that we get here. So for running it in iOS, I have to run the command npx React Native run iOS, but I'll show it in Android as well by the end. So meanwhile it is launching. For the first time, if you launch the application, it will take a lot of time to build the app. But since I have run it previously, so this will run quickly. So I'll just set up the screen. We'll minimize this and we will tilt it to the left of screen, and for the right we will use this. So now I'll just make it a little big, command B. So as you can see, while it is building the app, let's go and choose some colors for our application. We can either take it from coolors that I particularly like. Cooler. This is a website from where you can get a lot of color schemes for your application. It's good to use a fixed color scheme for your app. You should not use any random color. You should not put too many colors in your app. It makes it look clumsy and not very aesthetic. So I'll just click on explore and I'll see a good looking color palette for our quiz application. There is a whole theory behind choosing colors, but we are not going to discuss it here. Let's stick to any color palette that we get. Meanwhile, it is being loaded. Okay, so it has loaded. Let us take any color that we like. I like a little particularly not very vibrant colors, so I'll just take this one. So if I go here, if I save palette, okay, so it's asking me to sign up. Let's just view the palette. We'll take colors from here, right? Open in the generator. So okay, so this is the color palette that we are going to use. It will load meanwhile. To get an illustration for our app, I'll take it from either StorySet or from Icon Scout. I can take it from either of the websites. We'll see when we get to it. So as you can see, my app has been created and it is launched on the emulator, right? This is Xcode I'm using here. So let's close this terminal. We don't need it any now. So as you can see, this is the template that we get from React Native. We don't need this template, so we'll delete it. We'll just use RNFES. So we have created a function called app. So this is, let's just test it. This is Quizlet, right? So as you can see, in React Native, the div is replaced by view. So view is similar to div in HTML, right? And you can't write text anywhere in React Native like you can write in HTML or other JavaScript application. You have to write it in a text tag. So otherwise this will give an error. So let's save it, and you can see this is Quizlet. So what happens in iOS, there is the status bar, right? So you can't just write the content here. You have to give some padding from top. And in React Native, how you implement style is a little bit different from other React apps that you have created. For that, you have to create your classes here and give those classes to here. So let us call it style is in the curly braces, call it styles dot. Why styles? Because you see style sheet dot create, we have named it style. Styles dot, let us say this is a container, and when you go here and type container, it's an object, and you can say padding top. Let us give it padding 40. So you don't have to write pixel or rem or anything. You just give it a number, and it's a relative pixel according to a screen. So it has given it a padding 40. Now you can see this is Quizlet. I'll just zoom it a bit so you can see it better. So you can see this is padding top is this, and padding horizontal I am going to give let us say 16 to put all my content in center, right? Now you can see this is Quizlet, as you can see it. Now let us see all the screens that we need. So first is the home screen, the second is this screen, what we call it quiz screen. This is quiz screen, and the third is result screen. This is a modal, it's not a screen, it is upon the second screen. So we need 3 screens. Let's create the 3 screens pretty quick. I'll add a folder called screens. The first one is home.js, right? The second one is quiz.js, and the third one is result.js. Okay, one thing that I like to explain here, that I'm not going to practice the best coding practices that we should, because this is a basic video. You don't blame me that you are using you're writing very messy code and all. I'll take care of that in the upcoming subsequent videos. So these are the 3 screens that we have. Let's write it down. React Native function. So this is a shortcut that I use from Emmet. If you want to use it, you can just type it here, Emmet. This will give you shortcuts for your code, right? So this is my home. Just have to change this to home, right? So this is home, and this is home. Okay, so this is my home, and this is quiz, React Native functional quiz, and this is quiz, and this is quiz, and this is result, right? React Native functional experiment. Okay, so this is result, so this is result. Now you can see we have our 3 screens. Let's test it out if our screens are working or not. It's very easy. You just have to go to app.js, and instead of quiz we can erase that, and we can start from here. Let us say home. Most of the editors import it automatically. If not, you have to you should import it manually on the top, otherwise this will give an error. You can see this is home as it is showing here, so it is working good. Let's comment it out. Let's try our quiz screen. Okay, so it's refreshing. Let's wait for a bit. Most probably this will show this is quiz, and there are no errors so far. Comment it out. The third that we created was result, right? So as you can see, okay, it's refreshing. I don't know why this is taking time. So this is result. Okay, one more thing, React Native is a very processor heavy task, so make sure you have good RAM, minimum 4 GB, otherwise this will lag a lot. So okay, let's uncomment it out and let's create our home screen first. So if you go to home, what we decided is that we will write Quizlet, an illustration, and a start button. 3 components, fairly simple. So let's create a component folder. It is recommended that you create a component folder and put your components there, and not write everything in just one file. This is a bad practice. So I'll just call it a title.js, right? React Native add in FES. This is title, and what's our Quizlet, right? This is our Quizlet. So let's import our title here in our home.js. This is home. Instead of this, I need the title on top. So let us see if we can see Quizlet here. Okay, we can see Quizlet. Now the next thing that we need is an illustration. So I'll just, instead of going to some other component, since it's just an image, let's put it in a view. So again, I'm repeating, view is equivalent to div in HTML. So most probably, don't go tell anyone that I am saying this, because they'll call me, they say that I don't know anything. But yeah, view is equivalent to div, not exactly div. It has certain different properties. So in this view, I'll put an image, and in the below there, I'll put a button. Now you can either use button from React Native or either use touchable opacity. I personally like touchable opacity. It's what is touchable opacity? Anything that's enclosed in these 2 tags will be touchable automatically, right? So let's suppose there is a text, let us say start. I'll show you. You can click this start. Can you see the little fading thing? So touchable opacity, anything that you put inside touchable opacity will be clickable. Now why I am using touchable opacity? Because it is much easier to design touchable opacity than a button. So therefore I'll use touchable opacity. So okay, let's put an image here. Let's go to Icon Scout, and for quiz I am getting these illustrations. The color palette that I am using is little greenish. So let's see. So this is a great website if you want to use. It's called storyset.com. Okay, quiz. Okay, these are pregnancy tests, not quiz. I'm not getting a quiz application exactly. Let us just say, okay, we can use any. We can just use this. Let's just use this one. I'm not a very big, I don't like this very much, but for now we can use this one. So we can, okay, so now that we have the URL of the image, we can use image. Make sure that it is auto imported on the top from React Native. If not, import it manually. So now to give the source, you have to give the source a slightly different way from other applications of React or JavaScript or HTML. You write source, and then in double curly braces URI. If you are passing it from a local folder, you need require, which is a different method. We'll see if we come across that. Just paste your URL and save. Okay, we haven't closed this one. Just close this image tag, but you see there's no image, right? Give it a class. How we give it a class? Style is equal to styles dot, let us say banner, and we go here and we define the styles for banner. Let's give it a height of 300. Again, you don't have to give pixel or anything. Now for width, we'll also give a width of 300. See, the image is here. We'll just center it and we'll call it resize mode contain. This will keep the image in it if we scale it. And let's just, okay, so let's give this another style. Let's call styles dot banner container. Okay, this is a really bad name, but still we can make use of it. Justify content center and align items center. Okay, so align items and justify content, these are two properties that I mainly use to center anything in a div and as well as in a view. As you can see, this is centered now. So now this, here we have the top, we have the button, and we have the image. We'll design it later. So now that our home screen is designed, let's design our quiz screen. So let us go to quiz, but we won't see the changes in quiz. So what we can do right now is we can comment it out our home screen, and we can start our quiz screen from here. So from our app, okay, come on, that what is happening? Okay, we can get our quiz. So okay, this is just for testing. We'll integrate it in a navigation in the end when we have designed all our screens, right? So this is our quiz. So we go to quiz. Okay, how our quiz will look, let us see if we have designed, where was it? Okay, so our quiz was supposed to look like this. There used to be a question, 4 options, and then this thing, a skip button and a next button. Cool. So let's make 3 views. Actually everything should be enclosed in a view to give it better styling and better arrangement. So let us just put a text, plain text here. Imagine this is a really cool question, right? Imagine this is a really cool question. Great. And then we have another view which will contain my option. So what you can do, you can create a single style for your option, but this is not a very large application, so I'm going to create it here only. I'm just saying text option 1. Okay, let's call it cool option 1. Cool option 1, and replicate it 4 times. So these are our 4 options: cool option 1, cool option 1, and this needs to be a touchable, inside a touchable opacity. Why? Because an option is a button, so that you can click it, right? So okay, let's replace all this so that all our options become our button. So you can see we can click all the buttons, all the options, and in the end we had 2 buttons. I need all those buttons in a view. So touchable opacity or text, so skip, and let's capitalize it, skip, and then again touchable opacity. This is what, text, and this is next. If you will see, you can click skip and next. Functions, will give them functions next, but first of all let's style it a little bit. Okay, so this needs to be called as container. I usually call my parent div or view as container. You can give it any name that you like. Let's call it top, and let's call it options, styles.options, and let's call it buttons or bottom. You can call it anything. I'll just call it bottom. Bottom looks good. And coming here now, okay, so first of all let's give a container. Okay, it has a padding of its own, but I like to give it some extra padding, so I'll give it a padding of 12. Okay, container is this much is cool. Now what was our first, was top, right? So for top, what I can do, I can give it some padding and some margin to make it, give it a better feel. I can give it margin first of all vertically, so that the option goes down, and I'll give it 16. So you can see there is a little gap now, and okay, then options. Okay, again margin vertical, so that 16. Okay, it is, and I would like to do one thing, flex 1. I want rest of my space to be taken. Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, for this to work I'll have to give this a height of 100%. So okay, so what happened, my options took up all the space, and my skip and next button are shifted to the bottom of the screen, right? So it's much easier to design these now. So I can give it a margin of, sorry, not margin, as since they are at the bottom. Okay, let's give it margin bottom, let's 12, so that it is raised a little, and let's give it padding. Okay, padding vertical, let's give it padding vertical of 16. You can see I'm using only 3 numbers, 12, 16 and 20. It's a good practice to use fixed number of padding and margins in your application. I want these two buttons to be displayed on the end, so I will write it justify content space between. So you should read upon all the properties of a flex, because the view in any component in React Native is by default a flex. So okay, I have to change the flex direction as well. So this is flex direction is a row. So now you can see skip and next button are at the end. We'll design these buttons next. We'll design all these things in the subsequent screens. Okay, so let us say our quiz screen is done as well. Now let's design our result screen. Before designing a result screen, we will have to change it from here only, right? So we will comment it out and we will import our result screen here. Okay, say this is result. Where is our result? Okay, how was our result supposed to look? Result was supposed to look okay, a message, illustration, take me home button. Cool, 3 things. So let's just give a view, let's call it result. Okay, that's a very lame thing to do. Okay, see, this is the error that I was talking about. If you won't enclose your text in a text tag, this will give an error. So this is result, and the next view is an image, of course. Okay, so based on the result we can display 2 images, a happy and a sad image. We'll do that later. For now I'll just copy my home image, this one, command C, and I'll copy the banner styles as well, banner container as well, command C, and I will give this style as banner container. Okay, we haven't imported the image tag. I'll just import it on the top. As you can see, it has been imported. Now if I save it, my result image, imagine this is the happy image, and in the bottom we need a button, right? So of course I'm going to use touchable opacity. I'm not using button because I told you that it's hard to design a button, give custom design to a button. So next is home. Okay, so this is a button that we can press. Okay, now that we have our screen sorted out, let's implement navigation to it. Now what is navigation? When you click one button, you should be navigated to another screen. So how we exactly want our navigation is, from when we click on start, we should be taken to quiz screen. When the quiz is completed, we should be taken to the result screen. Okay, great. So let's do it. For that we need to go to the React navigation. So okay, we are going to use React navigation. Here we are going to use stack navigator. Now what is stack navigator? Okay, I'm stack navigator, directly search here. Yeah, so stack navigation is when you open a screen, it is pushed into a stack. This is, you can read this documentation, it's really detailed and it's great. So okay, we have to install this. Coming here, let's open the terminal and let's install this. Meanwhile this is getting installed, we need the React navigation setup as well. So I'll go here, and open reactnavigation.org. So there are few files that we need to integrate. So we'll go to read docs. Okay, so here we need to install this. You can use npm or yarn, anything that you like. I personally use npm. Let's wait for this to install. Okay, okay, I'm running too many applications simultaneously, so maybe that's why it is taking time. Okay, so now I'm installing React Navigation Native. Apart from this, if you read the docs, we need to install these dependencies. This is for Expo. In bare React Native, we need to just copy this command and install all the things. It's okay. React Native animated screens, context, mask view. Okay, let's wait for this to get installed. Okay, so as you can see, all the packages are installed. Now I'll install all the dependencies. Now this will take some time. While this is being done, let's go to the create stack navigator. There are basically three types of navigation in React Native. One is drawer, one is stack, which we also call as app navigator, and then is bottom navigator. Right now we just need the stack navigator. So this is a simple code that we're going to copy. You can copy it and use it. And okay, let's wait for it to be done. Till then, let's go here, create a folder called navigation. Alright, and we create index.js. Since we need only one navigation, I'm calling it just navigator. Otherwise you can name your navigations depending on how many navigator and what's the purpose, right? React Native. So I'll just paste whatever I copied from there. So this is how we create a navigator. We import, so okay, we'll close this. We import stack navigator from React Native stack. We call the stack navigator and we implement all the screens. But since we have only 3 screens, the first screen that you give will be your screen by default. Okay, let's import this home screen. I don't know why it is taking time. Let's just wait for it to. Okay, so my home screen is imported. Make sure it has been imported, otherwise it will give error. The second screen is quiz. Next, after the first screen, it doesn't matter in what order you are going to import it, because only the first screen matter. That too, if you are not setting a screen by default. By default, the first screen that you have mentioned here will be your entry screen. Now, okay, I'll just copy this thing. See, the third was result. Now, what is this name? From here onward, we are going to address these screens from these name that we are giving it here. Okay, so now that all our 3 screens are imported, we have to use this stack now. But before that, we have to enclose it in a navigation container. If you read this here, you see we have to enclose it in a navigation container. So now where we actually have to integrate it, if you go to your app.json, here we can give our navigation container and remove this. We don't need the result here, right? So now here, what was our that navigation called? Let me just check it. I forgot the name. It's called mystack. Okay, cool. So we are calling it mystack. So I'll integrate import mystack here. Okay, it is getting slow. Where is mystack? It's called mystack. We are not exporting it. We have to export it from here. Export default. Now I suppose that you are familiar with default and normal export. If not, I'll cover it in my upcoming videos. So once we have exported it from here, we can import it here. So yes, it has been imported. Now we have to import this navigation container as well, otherwise it will give error. So from React Native, okay. Now if I save it, so once this is refreshed, you'll see what I was talking about. Okay, come on, that is taking some time. I hope by now you must be a little clear with the React navigation. I'll make a separate video covering all the navigations and all. Okay, it can't find the variable React. Very common error when you copy a code. We need to import React here, so just copy it from here only, this thing. After all, your React Native is based on React, so we need to import React here. So okay, React Native screen, require component. React Native screen was not found in the UI manager. Okay, so I think what we need to do here is to rerun the application, because when we install all those dependencies, we have to close our application and run it again in order to for them to work. So I'll just close the screen here. Yeah, okay, so if I command J, so okay, so I have given the command to run on iOS. React Native area context, React Native. Okay, I got it. So here I skipped the documentation a little. You see, when we install all this thing, we have to go to our pod folder and install these things for iOS, not for Android, but for iOS we have to do this. I skipped that, so I'll just do it right now. We'll do it when the app is launched. We'll have to close the app again and do it. So we'll just wait for it to launch. Okay, so you can see the Quizlet is launched. It will take a really simple amount of time. Okay, I should give an error. Okay, I'll just close this thing, close this terminal. Let's go here. Okay, so we have to change directly to iOS, and we have to pod install. Now this will install these components for your iOS. If you are running an Android simulator, you won't get this error, but if you are running an Xcode, your emulator on Xcode, you will get this error. You see, these things are installed, so they won't give error next time. Okay, generating pods project. Let's wait for it to be done, and come on, get done with it. So far we have created our screens, basic screens, just the styling part is done. We have created our navigator. So as you can see, it has been created. Right now we go back and we run our command to run it on iOS. Now meanwhile it is being done. You will see the home screen now, and from there let's go to home screen. Okay, now how we'll navigate through this. So in the props of the home, you will get your navigation. So we will destructure it, navigation, and here touchable opacity has a function called onPress. Now onPress, a callback function, we will call navigation dot navigate to quiz. Now what is this name? You realize we gave it a name to our screen in the app navigator. I won't save it, I'll save it once my app has been launched. So now what will happen, when we'll click on start, we'll go to our quiz screen, and in our quiz screen here, for now let us have another button here. searchable opacity, text, okay, my laptop is getting hanged a little. I'll wait for the app to launch and then I'll resume the video. So my processor took a fairly good time for this. Okay, so now it has been installed. Now you can see I don't get a screen here. Why? Because one thing, you can't put your navigation container inside a view, so we'll have to remove this. Okay, see, now we get it. Okay, so this should not be enclosed in a view. As you can see, this is my home screen. I am getting a header. This looks very dirty. We can remove not dirty, it looks ugly and does not go with the UI of the application, so we can get rid of it. It's very simple. We have to go to a navigation, and on here we have to click on option show header shown and make it false. See, the header is gone. So now we'll have to style it in our home screen. Since we removed that container div, it is the padding got messed up. So we will copy this to all our screens. I don't like that header, so here and here as well. Okay, so when I go to my home screen, as you can see, when I click on start, we pass this the navigation. This should take me to quiz screen. When I click, this is the quiz screen. Okay, now how to now we go to quiz screen. Okay, so this was the end button. In the quiz screen there should be end button. Okay, see end. We will show this next and end button conditionally based whether it is the last question or not. For now, let's just test it out. On press we need navigation. First we have to import navigation from here. Navigation, cool. Okay, it's a callback function, and here navigation dot navigate. Okay, if you will log the navigation, you will see that there are many things you can do with navigation dot, pop, push, go back. You can do a lot of things. Right now I'll just navigate to result. Alright, so if I click on end, okay, so this is the result screen. When I click on home, I should be taken to my home. So let's do it. It should be easy now. Okay, let's close this terminal and let's minimize it a little. Okay, cool. From here I need navigation, and on home I need on press. You can pass another function, but since I just have one task here to navigate it, I am calling it in one line only. But mostly you should create a separate function for this and pass it here. Navigation dot navigate to home. Okay, so from here you should be taken to home. Okay, now that we are done with this, let's start styling the application. Okay, so since this is our styles equal to styles dot not banner container, just container. Okay, let's start it. Container padding top was 40 and padding vertical was how much? Padding vertical 40 as well. Let us see. Sorry, horizontal I mean. Now 40 is too much. Let's use 20. Okay, so padding top I need a little extra. No, 40 is I need a little. Okay, let's go. So this is our, where is title? Now we go to title here. Now this is title. Let's just call it style is equal to title. Styles dot title. Okay, let's call the title here. Let's give it a font size of, okay, see, it is camel cased here, we are not using dash unlike other CSS, right? So it's a little different here. Keep this in mind as well. So let's give it 24. Again, no pixels, nothing. Let's make it 28 actually. Yeah, Quizler, let's make it 30. It's hit and trial, whatever looks good you should go with this. Now font weight, I'll give it, okay, sorry for that. Okay, so font weight, make sure you're passing it as string. So as you can see, Quizler, the name is here. Okay, it doesn't look really good, I won't say but it's like, okay, that's right. So we can give it a class again, container style is equal to styles dot. Okay, calling it class is little wrong here. I'll call it style from now onwards. Container padding vertical, I'll give it 16. Okay, this is a little bit good. Let's center it, justify content center. Okay, don't focus on the UI part very much. I am mainly focusing on the functionality of the quiz application here. From the next time onward, I'll decide a UI beforehand so that I don't have to create such ugly application inside. So this is Quizler here. Now I just have to design this start button. I'll create a design for the button that I can use everywhere. Quizler. So okay, let's go to start button here. Let's give it a class here, not class, style here actually, styles dot button. All right, close this one. Okay, now it has a button style button. Okay, so let's call it, let's give it a width of 100%. Now you see, if you are passing it as a number, it can be passed like this. If you're given percentage, you have to pass it as string. Now let's call it a background color. Let's give it a background color from this, I don't know where is our color palette. Let's give it a background color of some dark color value, this hex code. Okay, let's copy this hex code and pass it here, hashtag this. Okay, so you can see it has a background color. It looks very ugly right now, we'll fix it. Okay, so this is a little more dark, I need little light color, so I'll replace it. Now it looks little good. Okay, I'll give it padding of, I don't know, 20. Okay, 20 looks good. And I'll give it a border radius of 16. So yeah, the button looks little better. Okay, let's go back. Let's design the text inside. I'll give it a style called, you can give inline styling here only, or you can just give it a name, styles dot button text here, button text font size. Now the button text has a padding of 20, so I can give it a font size of 24, I guess. Okay, the button looks really big, I can reduce it to 16. Font size 24 looks good. Font weight, I can give it 600, and color of white. Okay, so yeah, and I can align it to center. So now this is our quiz application. I can take this button a little down. So okay, we have many options. Either I can take this container flex one, that's the best. So flex one, and for that I need the container, this container to be a height of 100%. The parent, now in order to flex one to work, the parent should have a 100% height, otherwise it won't work. See, now it has gone to the bottom. For that we need to give it a margin bottom of, let us say, 30. Now it looks good. Now we wanted it. You can design anything in here. You can give a search, you can copy a UI from internet as well. This illustration doesn't look good, I'll just change it in a moment. Let's copy this illustration, copy image address and replace this one. Okay, it looks little better. It goes with my color palette as well. So when I click on start, it goes here. Now let's very quickly start the functionality of my quiz screen. We are done with the home screen. We won't be changing anything on the home screen now. Now if I go to my quiz screen, right, let's style this first and then we can implement the functionality. Okay, so container, where is my container? I'll copy my container style from here only. This padding, height and everything. Okay, so padding is constant on both of the screen. I'll just quickly paste it in here as well, container on the result screen as well, because in the end I'm going to do this only, so why not do it right now. Now in the quiz screen I'll style these two buttons, these three buttons, which will look similar, and I will design these as well. So for now we don't need this end button, so I'll comment it out. Okay, let's create a button style. So first of all, let's give these two a class. Style is equal to styles dot button, of course, and this as well. Style is equal to styles dot button. Now I told you that I'm going to use a similar button design that I can use on all screens. So let's give this a style of button text. Style button text. Now let's give this button text style to this next as well. Okay, great. Now I'll go to home and copy these two things, button and button text, except for one thing. I won't be giving it a width of 100%, otherwise these both will take a width of 100%. so if I do this, you see, so I'll just remove this thing, that's it. Now as you can see, the button a little bigger according to a screen and functionality, so I'll reduce the font size to let's say 18, and I'll reduce the padding to 12. Padding vertical should be a little extra, so sorry, horizontal, so I'll make it as 16 only. Yeah, now it looks good. The skip and next button, these don't have any functionality, but they have a good UI, I guess. So now I have to design this question, and I have to design these options. Great. So let's give it a class, style, let's give it a style of question, styles dot question. Okay, so if I am saying that I'm not following all the good code practices. Ideally I give these write these styles in alphabetical order, like B will go above options and so on, but right now I'm writing it as it is because it's a very basic application, not very complex. So question, okay, I'll give it a font size first of all of, let's say 28. 28 looks good. Okay. Okay, there should be a question here first of all, like this. Now it looks good. Imagine this is a really cool question. I guess this is it, nothing much more to do here for this question. You can style it as you want. Now I'll go to cool option 1. Okay, just play around with the styles, explore all the options available there, give it a background color, give it a font, anything you like. This quiz application could go on your resume as well. It's a very great project. You can create it specifically for some domain, either let's say vocabulary quiz or a science trivia quiz. Okay, see, I gave this as option and this is option, so this will help me in distinguishing between the text and the button. Cool. So now I just have to style it. Option, okay, font size. Now you see the question is a font size 28, so I'll give it a font size of 18. That will be good enough, I guess. Not very good, but okay, I'll see. 18 is not bad. Okay, so now you are wondering that what's the use of it as a button if we can't style it. So of course we are going to style it, and I'll call it option button. Now I'll style it as option button, styles dot. Okay, about naming the styles, give them name that you can understand, and if anyone else is reading your code, they should understand it properly. Otherwise, what's the point of giving it such detailed name, right? You can give it 1 2 3, but other people won't understand when they look at your style sheet. This is called style sheet. So what was it? Option bottom. Okay, it's not bottom, it's button, but let it be. Padding vertical, I'll say padding vertical, I'll give it 12. Okay, that's great. Margin vertical 6 only for a little extra space. Now background color. Okay, so I'll take a lighter color from the palette, probably this one. Command C, hash code, and this for option 1. I don't know, is this okay? Yeah, let's say it's okay. So I can give it a padding horizontal of, let us say, 12 again. Okay, so you will be saying what's the point of writing it differently. Now I realize this as well, but let it be. You can write padding for these two lines. So okay, let's give it a border radius of 12. Okay, so it looks like an option now. Let's change this font weight a little, font weight to 400. You cannot make it 500, and make its color as white. Okay, so yeah, this is my cool option 1, cool option 2, cool option 3. I'll just add the functionality, but the design part is ready. Now in order to design the functionality, okay, so this end is here as well. I'll just replicate this, call it as end, remove this. Okay, I don't know what I did. Command Z, okay, and next. Okay, so there are 3 buttons. I don't need my end button here, so I'll comment it out. So this is optional button, right? Whether it's the last question or not, I'll write the function for that right now. So to get started with the function, it's very good. Let's start here. Now we are going to use a React hook known as useEffect. Now useEffect is a hook from React which helps us to run any function the moment this particular component is loaded, right? So how we write it is this is the basic skeleton. So you read about useEffect more. This video is not about useEffect actually, so I'll just call a function here. Let us say get quiz, and I'll declare a function like const get quiz. Okay, so this is going to be a async function. Now what are async functions? What are the asynchronous function? That you have to read upon, or I'll be creating videos for the JavaScript async functions, arrow functions, useEffect, all these later on. Let's just say that there is an asynchronous function for await. Now how we are going to fetch the data from API? We are going to use fetch API. Fetch is basically a part of React which fetches the data from the any URL that you are going to give. Now to handle our data, let's use const questions set questions. Now if you are getting confused from what I am writing right now, then you should see 1 or 2 basic beginner videos on React hooks. I am using useState here, useState, and this is an empty array. Okay, right? Let's not initialize it with anything. So okay, so my questions is not defined right now. There is nothing in my questions. It is not defined, right? So now my questions, I'm going to fetch my questions from trivia database and put it into my questions. Let's do it. Okay, so const URL is equal to, here is my trivia database. Okay, open TDB. So open trivia database is an database from where you can get questions for your project, for anything. Okay, let's say we need 10 questions, any category, any difficulty, any type. So generate the API URL, copy this URL and paste it here. Now it's not going to work like this. We'll have to write const response, you can name it anything, await fetch the URL. So now what we'll do, we will wait till this fetch function is completed on this URL. We'll fetch the data from this URL. Now if we will log our result, you will see a very different thing, right? Here you can see this response here. I'll just zoom in for you guys. Can you see this response here, blob ID and everything? So we'll have to JSONify the data, right? So for this you can use promise method as well, .then. I like this method, it's more readable. Data is equal to await res.json. so we will wait till this is JSONified. JSON is JavaScript object notation, so it's a object format which our JavaScript applications can understand. Now if you will log our data, you will see this. See, response code, result, category. You see these questions. So what we will do, we will go to data dot results. Now it should give me an array. See, it's an array now, an array of questions. Now if I just pick one question out of it. By 0 I mean the first element of the array. You see, I get an object with category, board games, correct answer, this false, difficulty medium, incorrect answer, true, question. In the game you may pick any card from the card pile. Okay, I don't know, I don't like true false questions, so this will increase the difficulty of this. So let's just type from this multiple choice. Okay, so I'll just replace the URL, because if there are conditional questions, like some are MCQ, some are true false, then we'll have to write longer this thing, logic for that. I don't want to do it in this video. Maybe when we will create some advanced apps, then we'll do that. So just this now. Okay, now if we log it, you see a computer science question. The correct answer is think, difficulty is medium, incorrect answer is again an array. The question is, what 5 letter is the motto of IBM Computer Company? Cool. So from now what we are going to do this, once this is done, we will set our questions as data dot results. Cool. So now what, after setting this data dot results, we are saying that put the result in this question. So now we have an array in this question. So okay, now that's pretty cool. We have fetched our data from API. Now we just have to implement our logic for these skip and next button and integrate these questions here. What we are going to do here is, okay, let us see. Okay, handle next. Okay, so we need a question number, that which question is being rendered right now. So I will write it as quest, let us say set quest is equal to use state, and let us say the right now my 0th question. In computer language we start counting from 0, right? Now we are going to access it from 0. For that I need this container to be conditional. So what by conditional I mean, I'm going to put a condition here. Okay, so in JavaScript, in React, you can put a curly braces around anything and start writing JavaScript there. So I am saying if there is questions, and so this is very fairly simple logic. Okay, let me see why it is giving an error. Let me just give me a second. Let me see why we have an error here. Let me just put everything inside it, and let us say that if we have our questions and okay, so the error has gone, but it is saying an unexpected property. Just a second, I think I am doing something wrong here. That shouldn't be a problem. Not this. I guess I did a typo back then. Okay, so this is an operator, this style okay, I got it. So we don't have this thing, so I just have to put it all in a view here and close this view here. Damn it. Okay, so as you can see now, okay, let me give it a style because of the flex. The flex, if we are going to give a flex 1 to anything, its parent should have 100% height, right? So let me just give it style stop, just called parent. I don't want to mess with it. So parent height of 100%. Okay, this is really good. Now if we reload our application, right, now what I am doing here is I am saying that if I have questions, if it is not undefined, then only do this. It's an AND operator. You should read more about it. See, right, you can read somewhere else also. So now if I reload my application and if I go to my quiz, you see nothing is shown as long as it is being fetched. The moment my data is fetched from this API, this thing is shown. You can show a loader or something, but that will take some time right now and won't cover that. You can show anything meanwhile it is being loaded. So far we have covered how to style components, how to get data from Open Trivia database. We have logged the data, right? So we have the questions, we have the home screen, and in the next video we are going to implement the logic for the quiz and show the results. See you then. Bye bye.